Yeah, I was saying basically that, you know, I think we all go through it. I think we all go through just a lot of tough times. And I think when people tell their victim stories, like so openly or proudly, like to the point where it just feels like they're fishing, I think in reality that's just because they just didn't get the due credit that they want for it. I think that due credit is important. On the one hand, I also sometimes feel like people,
All right, that's all.
and maybe even myself, sometimes lean too much on that
Get back
victimization
into the city.
to make them feel like they've, and they have come a long way, but to like, I don't know. Like their ambitions is more about surviving and overcoming what they've been going through for so many years, rather than sometimes trying to see how ambitiously far they can reach in life and in their goals and dreams. But it's very nuanced. I feel like even what I'm saying now is pretty insensitive. These idiots should use spears. Apparently a bow and arrow for Ellie. It's boring to be hurt, but becoming a victim on purpose from other people doesn't really help you long term. That is a good point, I think, for sure. I think that's a really good point. I think, yeah, I agree 100%. If you... It's tough, man, because it's tough. It's tough. It's not like they're pontificating their challenges. It's more like, I don't know, the way it's phrased sometimes just comes across like it's a badge of honor rather than, you know, like maybe disability is a strong word, but a section of their life that has been difficult to overcome and still is, but they continue to do it. So in the one sense it's an act of bravery, but also, I don't know, I think people know what I mean, but it's really hard to kind of formulate in a coherent phrase that isn't insensitive to those who are genuinely having difficulties. Hey brother, we were so close. I'm sitting outside the walls knowing I'll never see the inside zone. A squad of soldiers approaching. In our panic, we ducked into this building in hopes of hiding from them. None of us noticed the spores until it was too late. We're all infected. We have a few hours, maybe a day at most. I hope smugglers are still coming so that I can at least pass the note to you. I should have listened to you and come to the zone with you when I had the chance. Now it's too late, Mark. I don't know. I think everyone struggles.
As much as everyone complains about it.
It's so tough. It's so tough to discuss, to talk about it properly. Everyone struggles, and yet I don't know. Some people demand too much privilege for something that's just very commonly experienced. And sometimes the privilege that they ask is very serviceable and convenient. And sometimes the things they do ask is just not... It's not fair, and it's not right to really ask of others to be mindful of consistently.
Some fresh air.
And
that's the one thing I love about
in the end, what's bothersome about it is that instead of
some of them air fresheners.
Like there's understanding on the world and the public about what you're going through and what challenges you're facing, but on the flip side, there's none of that tolerance or acceptability or flexibility to understand that people are providing a courtesy of consideration towards what you've been through and what you need in order to function in this society and world. And that the things that sometimes you're expecting are just not really feasible. Or more importantly, it's just a courtesy. They're not, you know, it's not that they don't care. It's that for them, it's just not a factor of importance. I don't know. I think I know what I'm getting around. I'm saying it in a very roundabout way, but I think we know what I'm kind of trying to get to. Saying there's a limit and there's a limit and there's a
Damn it.
There's a limit to what you can ask, and there's a limit to what people can offer. And finding that middle ground is how we as a people function as society. But when you use that limit in order to, when you take advantage of that limit in order to kind of assert yourself as someone who needs extra special attention at all periods of time, or that you use those challenges in order to justify sometimes poor behavior or poor actions that you do, to then seek forgiveness or acceptability when you don't really make any real means of efforts to improve, then I think you're pushing that boundary too hard. But it's really hard to, from the outside, to determine if someone's making a genuine effort or if they're kind of sitting at that victimization, or sitting at the challenges that they've faced and just using it as a blanket justification to always assert why they act the way they act, even though it is reputable, even though could be repaired or could be mitigated, or it could be more consciously considered, right? It's tough. It's really tough. I really don't think there's any best way of putting it. I don't know how I got into this subject. It's absolutely absurd.